Hey team, the purpose of this video is to talk to you about MakerBot software. In this slicing software, my objective is that you understand how to put supports in when you're ready to print a model. Right now, I'm working with a sketch bed. So the plate area or the bed area that I have is specific to a sketch model, but quite frankly, it doesn't matter. Whatever type of printer you are working with, this same strategy should work just fine. I have my model in here, and in my model, I have these open areas that necessitate a temporary support so that the model can print properly. Over here on the right-hand side where I have access to my toolbar, I'm going to click on the gear where it says Print Settings. So usually when you hover over it, it will let you know exactly what that item is. I'm going to click one time. If your print settings do not look exactly like mine, you could potentially have a smaller view. These little items will tick so that you can expand or shrink any of those areas. And if they don't show up at all, then you can scoot over here to where it says Custom Settings. In either of those locations, you can make these choices. What I'm specifically looking for is I'm specifically looking for supports and bridging. I'm going to click one time right over here so that this panel appears. And what I want is I want supports to appear under the bridge. So I can tick the mark, the little box right here, in order to ensure that the supports will be supplied during the actual print process. If you do not tick this box or another box that I'll show you in just a second, then your supports will not appear. This is something that the user must choose. You cannot assume that the software is going to make that choice for you. So I'm going to tick that box and then I'm going to click Done. The other location where it would appear if these items appear in this area is right here where it says supports and bridging, and I'm going to tick the arrow so that this expands. And you can see in this area that you have some choices. Right here where it says support density, you're choosing the thickness of those supports. I typically choose 13%, and here's the reason why I choose 13%. Number one, it is using a small amount of filament. Number two, I know that it will be stable enough to support my print. You, as the user, get to choose the density. If you want to go less than 13% and you want to practice with 12, 11, 10, etc., you're more than welcome to choose those. I find that 13 is fine. If you're wrestling really hard in order to break those supports away, then I recommend a smaller number so that it is less dense. Right here where it says support under bridging, instead of none, you would choose breakaway support. So make sure that you have chosen breakaway supports in this area instead of none if you need supports during your print process. And in order to see what this looks like, I'm going to come all the way up here to the estimates and print preview area. This process, I would say, depending on the size of your print, it could take a minute or a minute and a half in order for the computer to render an analysis, an overview, a time lapse of exactly what that slicing would produce. How many layers? What do those layers look like? If you have indicated that you would like a raft, what will the raft look like? If you have indicated that you want supports, what will those supports look like? And so I usually need to be patient while that process runs. Because this print takes over 15 hours to run, it took almost 3 minutes in order for that rendering to appear. And I can evaluate over here. I have clicked this little bubble and I'm dragging it down. I can evaluate whether or not I am satisfied with this print process. If I think that the interior density of this particular print is excessive or does not provide enough support, this is where I can evaluate and ask questions. Am I satisfied with this print? Do I feel like I need to make adjustments? Do I want to wait 15 hours for this print to run? It is at this time that I can go in and make adjustments. I'm not limited to just clicking export and running at this point. I absolutely can go back and make adjustments if needed. If you are satisfied with your print, you can export and then print accordingly. If for some reason your supports are not on display, you would click this box right here in order for those supports to disappear or to reappear. Now, it doesn't mean that the supports are disappearing in the print. Let me bring clarity to the discussion. The only thing we're doing at this point is we are visualizing it or not visualizing it. It's still going to print because we chose it on that last screen. Back when we were over here in this print area, we chose it. The only thing that's different in this particular section when we tick on or off away from this orange area is that it's just hibernating or it's not on display. So you can still see how the print is a little bit above that print bed in order to accommodate the raft that's going to print. So that is still clearly there. And the supports are clearly going to print. The only thing we're doing right here is you'll see the word display. It's just whether or not you can visualize that component right now on the screen or not. All right. My main objective was to make sure that you understood the support material process. That was my only objective for this particular video. Thank you for watching and have a great day.